Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Watford get stuffed by Manchester United. Watford stuff Liverpool. Manchester United the best club in England? I don't know, it's a weird time. Chelsea dropping points as well. Arsenal win a trophy. Shame it's the same one they won 16 years ago. But Liverpool have lost. I mean, look, to be honest with you, that's an Arsenal victory, isn't it? I mean, Liverpool going invincible. Did it really? They're winning the title by annihilation. To be honest, I'm more concerned about Liverpool potentially doing the treble. So we'll wait and see what happens with that one. But as you can see, the headline is Jadon Sancho, and I think this could be another big L for Liverpool, who very much would like to sign Jadon Sancho. We'll be talking about that in a moment. We'll also talk about the return of Pogba, some more comments from Solskjaer, a little bit about Thomas Partey, which I think is interesting. But just very, very quickly, I mean, seriously, Watford last week, we did beat them really, really well. They didn't start Sarr. I think that Sarr is a very good player. He's only just come back from injury. So we may have caught Watford at the right sort of time, really. But, you know, it is what it is. The result doesn't really impact on us. We're not winning the title and we're not being relegated. But, you know, it's always... I mean, look... I don't really know what to think about the Liverpool result, to be honest with you, because I'm more for the Chelsea result's bigger for us. We've got to look after ourselves. One day, hopefully in the future, we will be challenging Liverpool for titles. But at the moment, we're looking at 4th place. Chelsea have dropped points there. But let's talk about Jadon Sancho. So this is coming from Jan Åge Fjørtoft, that used to play up front for Swindon in the Premier League. Norwegian, I think. Yes, he is Norwegian. So he actually is like a journalist now, and he's put a video out today basically saying that he's spoken to people at Dortmund, and the expectation is that he will come to Manchester United. Now, I don't know whether he's talking directly to people from Dortmund saying that, but the expectation is that he will come to Manchester United. He's also spoken to somebody in the press over there, and they think that he might go to Liverpool because of Klopp's links with Dortmund. However, it's looking like Manchester United, as we know, are very much in the race for Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho wants to come back to England. And look, beyond what Fjørtoft said, I've heard stuff, you've heard stuff. This time last year, well, it was March actually, this time last year, remember I said, I've been told that United are looking at 3 players. Bruno Fernandes, Jadon Sancho, Thomas Meunier. We never bought any of them. We didn't go for Meunier because we got Wan-Bissaka. We didn't go for Bruno because we're bloody incompetent. And we didn't get Sancho because Sancho didn't want to come last summer. So United have had a long-standing interest in Jadon Sancho. And without a shadow of a doubt, I think this is the player that we're looking to sign in the summer. I think this is the big player we're looking to sign. I do think that Pogba will go. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I think United want this signing. And whatever you say about Ed Woodward, and look, criticism is fair. It is fair. I've criticised him. A lot of people have. But whatever you say about Ed Woodward, he does like a big signing. You know, he does. The problem with United has been bad recruitment sometimes. But you look at it, you know, he's bought people like Di Maria. He's bought people like Paul Pogba. Lukaku, 70 million. So, you know, we do like to sign a big player. He will want to sign Jadon Sancho. The issue with Jadon Sancho is always going to be, will he come to Manchester United if we're not in the Champions League? I think that could be an issue. But I think if we get Champions League football, then we get Jadon Sancho. And away from what Fjørtoft's saying and away from what we all know, let's have a look at tonight. That prospect of Manchester United signing Jadon Sancho moved a lot closer today because of what Chelsea did. They were very lucky to get a point against Bournemouth. They should have lost. From a position where I thought they were going to get a win, and I was like, oh God, this is bloody typical. They're out of Europe. They're looking good now. And actually, they didn't, did they? So we beat Everton tomorrow. We're 1 point behind Chelsea. Next week, they play Everton. We play Man City. They've got some tough games coming up. We've got some tough games coming up. We cannot. I mean, look, you can almost... I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said that this game against Everton is a defining game. It's a test of how far we've come. A landmark game, he called it, and it's more than that. You can call it. You can almost call it the Jadon Sancho game. You almost can call it the Jadon Sancho game because if we get top 4, we get Jadon Sancho. I really think it's that simple. And if you think about the improvement with Manchester United, thanks for the contribution, Andreas Storvik. You've just reminded me to do something, but. If you think about, and number 7 is open, somebody just said there, Sancho number 7 is open, says Ozang. But if you look at what Bruno Fernandes has done to our team, because we haven't had a number 10 or an attacking midfielder, we haven't. We've been playing Pereira, Matalinga, they're not good enough. You put Bruno in there, and everyone thinks he's the world's best player. He's not the world's best player. He's a bloody good player, and I think he can become one of the world's best attacking midfielders. But he's just a very good player at the moment. And if you put De Bruyne in that position, or you put David Silva in that position, we'd all be waxing lyrical about them as well. But the exciting thing about Sancho is we haven't got a right winger either. You've got Mason Greenwood playing out there, not really his position. You've got Dan James playing there, not really his side. You put Jadon Sancho in there, who's doing it week in, week out in the Champions League and the Bundesliga. You will be like going, he's the world's best player. And again, he's got the potential to be that. But the improvement to Manchester United for actually having a right winger will be huge. So I think this game against Everton tomorrow is not just the 3 points can we close up on Chelsea. It's the Jadon Sancho match. It is a landmark, like Ollie says. We've got to go and win tomorrow. I think the logical result is a draw. I really do think it's a draw. But I think if I'm a United player tonight, and I know some of you are watching, if I'm a United player tonight, before I go to sleep, I'm thinking, let's not mess it up. Let's not settle. Let's not be intimidated. Let's look at that result. Because this is what winners do. Sir Alex Ferguson's team used to do it all the time. If your title rival slips up, by hook or by crook, you absolutely take advantage of that mistake. If we draw tomorrow, we've only replicated what Chelsea have done. If we lose, they've made a point on us. If we win, Chelsea, I tell you what, Chelsea and Leicester at the moment, because Leicester lost to Norwich last night, Chelsea and Leicester at the moment, they're flaky. They are absolutely flaky. They are crumbling like a hobnob in a biscuit blender. They are, there's no such thing, but they are crumbling and they're under pressure. And the only way you stop crumbling is when you relax a little bit, you take your time. Put the pressure on, grind them down even more. We win tomorrow, 6 points off Leicester in third, 1 point off Chelsea in fourth. Bring it on. But we've got to take advantage. Tomorrow a draw is not good enough. And I know if we draw, everyone will go, it's a tough place to go. Still unbeaten. 0-0. It's another clean sheet. No. Tomorrow we got to go and win. We can't afford to draw tomorrow because we've already lost too many points. Technically we've got to win 8 of our next 11 to not have our worst ever Premier League total points. And that includes Moyes and Van Gaal. So we've had a bad season. But luckily, a lot of other teams around us have had bad seasons, so we've got to take advantage tomorrow. It's all right, Ollie saying we're going in the right direction. It's all right, the players, putting out all the positivity. Well, yeah, things are positive because of Bruno. I get that, but let's not forget the crap we've had this season. The losing to Newcastles and Bournemouths and Burnleys and everyone else. Tomorrow can't be Goodison Park, a draw is normally a good result, but it's not a good result tomorrow because we're playing catch up because of all the bad results we've had. And also, Chelsea are there, they're on the floor, their neck is like a giraffe, it's massive. Put your foot on the neck and put some pressure on them. That's what we've got to do tomorrow. We've got to go and win, and I think we will. Question, sell Pogba, choice, get Zaha, Grealish, Samari and Dembele or Werner and Sancho. 200 million in the window, says Justin V. Look, I will talk about Pogba in a moment. Tomorrow is a must-win because the derby can go both ways. We can't take that chance. Tomorrow's game is probably the proverbial game of the season, says Anaban Batashai. I totally agree. But you know what? I'm going to go to sleep excited tonight. And that's not because I'm on a promise or anything. I'm going to be excited because the results have already gone out. That Liverpool results, I'll watch match of the day. It doesn't really impact on us. They're still going to win the league, but, they have finally lost the game. But the Chelsea result is the one. And Leicester last night. We mustn't forget Leicester. Leicester have got a really, really bad April. I think they play Wolves, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, us. We play them in May. So Leicester can easily give up 6 points. If Leicester were Spurs or Leicester were Chelsea, I'd go, their 6 points is still quite hard. But it's Leicester. Leicester might not win at home to somebody like Southampton. They might not. I think Leicester are massively vulnerable. Welcome to Salman Hussein, latest member of the United Stand Members Club, and Mr. Glenn Johnson. Liverpool are having a bad season too now. Well, people are enjoying the Liverpool loss, aren't they? I'm not going to say that you shouldn't do, but what I would say is that we're better than that. We've got to be better than that. I think when the Arsenal Twitter account is tweeting out about they're tweeting out about, they're trying to banter. This is social media for you. I absolutely love social media and banter amongst fans. I think it's great, but it's for fans to do because you don't get everything right. When you've got the official Arsenal Twitter account trying to banter Liverpool for losing and not being invincibles, when it's not even 48 hours since you embarrassed yourself and ended your season. I mean, let me just say this. Arsenal are celebrating a trophy they won 16 years ago tonight because they're not going to win all this season. Like, that's just... I don't want to be that club. I don't want to be that club. But I sort of understand it in some ways, because when they lose in the FA Cup, fingers crossed, or the Champions League, and they can't do the treble, I will breathe easier. I don't know whether I'll be tweeting stuff, but I will breathe a little bit easier, because I just don't want it to happen. But before we talk about Pogba, I just want to talk about Thomas Partey, because somebody messaged me today. I was doing a watch-along on That's Football, and somebody messaged me today and said, have you seen the Thomas Partey rumours? And I was like, party time. Could this Saturday get any better? Chelsea have dropped points, Liverpool have lost, Leicester lost last night, and we're signing Thomas Partey. What's all this all about? So I looked at it and I went, I did a bit of research, of course, and we're not linked to Thomas Partey. But there are some developments. Arsenal are linked to Thomas Partey, £43 million release clause, and Thomas Partey is working on a new contract at Atletico Madrid. But look, many of us on this channel, over the years, Fabinho, Lozano, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, if you watch this channel, and it's not just me, there's a lot of people who've been watching the channel for years or even months. There's a lot of knowledge about footballers, and we were talking about Bruno. I mean, I'm talking to United fans now, and they're going, "This Bruno's great, isn't he?" Like we haven't been talking about it for a year, because that's what some people are like. Well, Thomas Partey is a player we've been talking about for 2 years. Thomas Partey is in that Bruno Fernandes category. He is one of these players, a bit like Werner. People have been talking about Werner on here for a couple of years as well. They become this flavour of the month, and people, jump on the bandwagon because some fans just don't go that deep. We go deep, but Thomas Partey is definitely the sort of player that United should be looking at. He was brilliant against Liverpool the other day, but he's been very good for 2 years. £43 million release clause. And what do you get with Manchester United? We're linked with Longstaff. We're linked with bloody Declan Rice. They will cost around the same, and Rice will cost more. And Thomas Partey would come in and he'd be like Fernandinho, he'd be like Kante, he'd be like Fabinho, he would be like a Verratti. He would be absolutely brilliant for Manchester United's midfield. I mean, can you imagine a midfield of Partey, McTominay, Fred, Bruno, Matic, and probably Grealish or Maddison? I mean, I'll have some of that. 6 midfielders like that. And the combinations you could have with Partey, Fred, McTominay, Matic, Grealish and Bruno. What a 6. And we need 6. Liverpool have got 6. Most Chelsea have got 6. All right, they've had most top 4 sides have got 6 midfielders of quality. And I wouldn't mind keeping Matic for another year if we did have Partey, Fred, Grealish, Bruno, and McTominay. I would be happy to do that. So, but it doesn't look. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't look like we are in for him. But again, I think like I saw somebody today on Twitter. They're a blue tick United fan, and they were saying, why have the Red Army at the game? The Red Army they're not the singing section. People call them the singing section, but they're called the Red Army, TRA. Remember, they were singing about the Glazers and everything. Well, they're not now. And a few people are sort of saying, why have you stopped? And some people are saying it's because the Red Army's been moved and given a bigger section in Old Trafford, so they've sort of been bought by the club. And the Red Army say that's a disgrace to say that, which I do agree with. But nobody's singing about Woodward and the Glazers anymore just because they got Bruno, who they should have got in the summer. And this is it. What I'm trying to say is, yeah, Bruno's a great signing. They should have done it in the summer. United are milking it as well. Like the Bruno thing, it's not annoying because I can't believe we've even got him. I think I've wanted him for ages. He's a brilliant signing. But the way the club are milking it, like they're patting themselves on the back, like they're not incompetent idiots who should have got him in the summer. They're like, every tweet is Bruno. Every website is Bruno. Oh, Bruno. Every interview with Ollie, it's Bruno. And it's like, yeah, it's great we got Bruno, but you should have got him in the summer. I personally think the Bruno Fernandes signing is a fan service signing. And I know, when I say that, it's bloody ridiculous. But I'm like, this is a player you were at pains to let the world know you didn't want. You were leaking out that he's a risk taker and you don't want him. You were leaking out that it was the Portuguese press and you don't want him. And 4 months later, you go and get him because you've got 2 injuries in your midfield to Pogba and McTominay. I know for a fact Manchester United would not have signed Bruno Fernandes. And people don't listen to this, and there is a point to it. I'm not being purposely negative here. What I'm trying to say is we need to do a lot more, and Thomas Partey would be the sort of signing that we should be looking at, because he's only 43 million and we need to spend a lot of money. So you get him in for a very reasonable price. We should be looking at these deals. Bruno's a proof of that. We can't just be looking at Declan Rice and people like that. And we can't be thinking, oh, we're all right in the midfield because we've got Matic, McTominay and Fred. We do need a couple more midfielders, and we do need someone with a bit more defensive about them. But when you think about it, with Manchester United and the Bruno thing, they didn't do it. They didn't do it in the summer. And they weren't going to sign Bruno in January if Pogba and McTominay were fit. Now, do you think if we hadn't signed Bruno and we had Pogba and McTominay, we'd be doing as well as we are now? I don't. I think this Bruno Fernandes signing has turned our season around to such an extent that we will get top 4. And Ollie will stay in a job. That lad has changed our whole season. That signing has changed our whole season. They should have done it in the summer. They didn't. And they only did it in January because of injuries to McTominay and Pogba. And yet they're all there like, oh, look at us. We're at the wheel like a boss walking in. Like, look at us. You only need to scratch the surface a little bit to see this wasn't great planning. This wasn't superb scouting. This was a bloody desperation signing that you had to do, that you were adamant you weren't going to do. And you've only done it because of 2 injuries to midfielders. I know for a fact that they wanted Haaland, and if Pogba and McTominay had not been injured, they weren't signing Bruno. They might have done it in the summer, but they weren't doing it in January. So we've been lucky, and this is another reason why I think we're going to get top 4, because I just think everything's going our way at the moment. VAR, results, people coming back from injury, Bruno's hit the ground running, Agallo looks good, everything's going our way. And I tell you one thing, from watching football for 30 years, football is momentum and confidence, and you get in a run. And I think United are getting into a bit of a run here. And also, Solskjaer, if you look at Solskjaer, he is a manager, and I remember one of you lot saying this at the start of the season. The worrying thing with Ollie, is he a consistent manager or is he a theme manager? And when I say theme manager, does he get into little runs and it goes well and then it goes... So like when he first came in, couldn't stop winning, 26 points from 30. Then he's gone really, really bad. And now, is he going to go really good again? Maybe till like the end of the season, we get top 4. And the next season, will it be really bad again? What we want from Ollie, and he knows it himself, is some consistency. But I think we'll win tomorrow. Been hearing Arsenal fans getting excited about Chelsea drawing 2 today. It's like the specky kid at school hearing the hottest girl is single again. Hey, you know what? Arsenal worry me a little bit because they should be nowhere near a top 4 ace. But I tell you what, you look at that league table, and especially if we lose tomorrow or we drop points tomorrow, Arsenal's next 4 Premier League games, they've got like Brighton, Norwich, Southampton, and somebody else they can beat. They could win 3 or 4 of their next 4 games. We've got Everton, City, Spurs, Sheffield United. Chelsea have got 4 tough games. It's not inconceivable that at the end of March, Arsenal are levelled up with all of us. And you know, so, I mean, look, what price? I tweeted this earlier. What price that Leicester and Chelsea don't even get top 4? And it's, I tell you what, if I was a gambling man, I might have a tenner on that. What price do you get for Leicester and Chelsea not getting top 4? They're both favourites for it at the moment, but Leicester are dropping like a block, and Chelsea, I tell you what, their confidence is on the ground. So this is it. You've got to press home their advantage. You've got to press it home. Please do smash a like on the video if you're watching. I also want to talk about Paul Pogba. Lots to talk about tonight, and we will take some of your comments because it is Thursday night, of course. Remember, tomorrow it's a 2 o'clock kickoff. We will be live from 1 o'clock with the team news. We've got fan cams afterwards. Don't be worried about rushing off for that 4:30 tin cup between Man City and Villa. So tomorrow's biggest game is Manchester United against Everton. There's a bloody cup final, and tomorrow's biggest game is Manchester United against Everton. It's massive. It's absolutely huge. As Ollie said, it's a landmark game. He said there's no way this team will put in a performance like last year where we got beat 4-0. We've come too far. It's not going to happen. It's a landmark game to show how far we've come. Famous last words or fighting words for a new dawn? Let's wait and see. But it's massive. And I think we've got to go and win. And I love Goodison Park. I think the atmosphere, the history of that ground, Everton are playing well. It's a tight ground. It's going to be a cracker, but I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win, and I tell you what, if we win tomorrow, it will take a lot to stop us getting top 4, especially with that Europa League draw being quite easy. I think we're looking good. Mark, you called the Watford versus Liverpool game. You should be a betting man, says Joshua Davis. Yeah, but you know when you don't bet, you always get it right, don't you? Because the pressure's off. But I have been a good jinxer recently. I have been a good jinxer. There's loads of times I've gone on Twitter and said this isn't going to happen, and then it does. So I'm going to say we're definitely going to lose tomorrow because I'm jinxing it the other way. But talking about Pogba, there was a video of Pogba today with Eric Bailly and Ighalo. Seems to be moving around on his feet quite well, which is good. So I think the talk is that Pogba... I don't know whether Pogba trained today with United. I don't think he did. But the talk is, as I said last night, that Pogba will start training with United tomorrow. Outside chance that he could be back for the Manchester City game, maybe on the bench. So looking like he'll be back for the Spurs game. Jordan Such says, is Martial available for tomorrow's game? United have kept that quiet, Jordan. I don't know. But with Pogba, we need Martial back tomorrow. I'd forgotten all about that, Jordan, actually. I think if Pogba's out tomorrow, it makes our job harder. If Martial's out tomorrow, it makes our job harder. But what I was going to say is, on Paul Pogba, my stance has always been, I think he wants to go. I know he wants to go. We all know he wants to go. And I think he should have been allowed to go in the summer. Because I think, you look at this season, and I don't want to dwell on this, but Pogba wanted to go in the summer. Lukaku behaved badly. We know Lukaku behaved badly. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer basically said it in his press conference. There's 1 or 2 players who basically played their last game for us against Everton last year. Well, that 1 or 2 players is definitely Lukaku. Lukaku had a bad attitude. He was injured on tour, and then he got his move. He was disruptive. He wanted to get out, which is fine. I wanted him to go as well. Pogba played it professional. Pogba wanted to get out, but he was professional, and they forced him to stay. Imagine if we'd sold Pogba last summer, got 130 million, bought Bruno Fernandes and Thomas Partey, or Bruno Fernandes and Eriksen or Van der Beek or something like. We would have had a far better season. We on this journey of future vision. We'd be a year ahead of where we are now because we would have had Bruno and whoever in from August. So I do sympathise with Pogba. I think he should have been allowed to go last summer. I don't think this keeping him has done anybody any favours. And I don't think Pogba's going to change his mind about wanting to go in the summer. Unless United go on a mad one and win the Europa League and get into third or fourth playing great football. He might go, you know what, I'll sign a new contract. Which would be great. But whatever happens with Paul Pogba, maybe he's using us to get fit for the Euros and play well to get a move in the summer. Maybe he is. Some players do that. I don't know. But can we not accept that we're using him as well? Or why wouldn't we use him? So what if Pogba's going to put himself in the shop window and get fit for the Euros? He's still going to go out and play for United. He's still got to play well for United if he's putting himself in the shop window. So we should get into that mindset as well. I mean, I see people on social media talking about Pogba like, don't want him anywhere near the club, virus, sell him now if we can, stick him in the reserves. And I'm like, what? That's like biting your nose off to spite your face. It's like, even if you don't want Pogba at the club, he can't be sold. He's here till May. We've got big games between now and May. Answer these questions. Does Paul Pogba make us a better team? Yes. Should Paul Pogba be involved with Manchester United? Yes. Even if it's a mindset of we're using him as much as he's going to use us, which we don't necessarily know, maybe he will sign a new contract. I just think, welcome back, Paul. Get involved, play well. We're stronger for it. Bournemouth thought they were safe for at least another week. They are now in the bottom 3. They should have won, says Mohammed Ishmael. Yeah, it's not the Bournemouth channel, but they should have won. They did let us down a bit. And Strutson says, United is run like a bank. Last year's budget didn't allow Bruno transfer. New year, new budget. Stupid company policy. Same thing where I work, says Strutson. Yeah, but I don't know about that because different years run differently, don't they? You can have a calendar year. You can have the financial fair play year, which is June to June. I don't know about that. There's lots of things about Manchester United. We're losing a lot of money, aren't we? But I still think we will sign Sancho. It just depends where the money's going to come from. Maybe we're going to sell to buy. Mark, have you heard? Apparently, Angel Gomes signed a new contract, says Lil Comic. I haven't heard that at all. But that would be absolutely fantastic if it's true. Let's go and have a quick look. Actually, probably just do it on my phone. It's easier. I'd be absolutely over the moon if he has. What a Saturday, if it's true. Angel Gomes, here we go. Latest. Well, it's coming from a Manchester United in the know account on Twitter. I don't know. It could just be a guess. So that's the source of it. It could be a guess. I wouldn't go off that at all. It's all rumours, isn't it? What I got told about Angel Gomes about 2 weeks ago was that he isn't happy at Manchester United, and he's that unhappy that he wants to leave. But if something changes, he's happy to stay. So, and I can't really say what the thing that's making him unhappy, because if it's not true, it's not fair. But yeah, that's what I was told. So yeah, I don't think that's true. And also, I think with Angel Gomes, to be absolutely, what a Saturday it would have been. But I think I'll just give you my opinion on Angel Gomes. If he's so close to signing a contract, why is he never in the matchday squad? Like, even against Bruges, Lingard is the man on the bench as the number 10 again. Like, Gomes could be that man. Chong's on the bench. Why? Chong is going to go to Inter Milan and is still getting game time. Gomes can't even get on the bench. So I don't think Gomes is staying at United. I really don't. I'd love to see him stay, but I don't think he will. He hasn't had a chance at all, has he? And yeah, I can see him going. I really can. Anyway, chuck your questions at me. We've spoken about everything I wanted to talk about, other than tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm really buzzing. Tonight I think I'm just gonna watch the Formula One series on Netflix and watch a film before that, and just watch telly till I fall asleep. Because I think if you sometimes when you go to sleep, you turn the telly off and you just try to go to sleep, and 9 times out of 10 you can. It's a bit like Christmas Eve for me tonight. If I try and do that, I won't sleep because my mind's buzzing. I need to fall asleep watching telly or something, because I'm going to be really, really, really excited for tomorrow. And I'm glad it's a 2 o'clock kickoff. I don't want to be waiting until 4 o'clock. 2 o'clock, let's get it on. It is a landmark game. Ollie's right. It's so big. I think so many times this season I've said it that I get bored of it myself, but we're at such a pivotal point now. I think if United were to lose tomorrow, it would be a crushing blow. But it's almost like at the moment, United almost have this era of invincibility, because Bruno is making us so good and everyone's responding to that. There's so many. I mean, did you watch the chart show this morning? You've got to watch the United Stand chart show every Saturday morning. Top 10 United players every week. Fred held it onto it. Bruno's at number 2. I think he'll be number 1 next week if he continues how he is, even though Fred's been brilliant. But when we lose our first game under Bruno, that is the problem. And I don't really want to dwell on negatives, but if I said to you, what's United's big problem? We all would come to the same conclusion. They're a bit spineless, but their heads drop and it goes wrong. When things are going well for United, we saw it with Ollie's first 3 months. We saw it. When things are going well, we get into a groove of everything's great. But when things go against us, we struggle. And, like Watford last week, that VAR goal, I personally think, somebody said to me, even if Watford had made it 1-1, we still would have gone on and won it. And I was like, well, I don't know with United, though, because sometimes something goes against us, we drop our heads, and that's it. And I think that tomorrow, if we were to lose to Everton, you wonder about the psychological blow that will have again, that we've blown another chance to really close in on top 4. I mean, look, if we win tomorrow, all right, we're not above Chelsea because they got the draw, but 1 point's nothing. You may as well be level. 1 point is nothing, and we've got the better goal difference than them, so they're under massive pressure if we win tomorrow. So, but if we lose tomorrow, suddenly you have got Arsenal breathing down your neck again, Sheffield United. Even Everton would only be 3 points behind us. So, pivotal game, 6-pointer in many ways. We beat Everton, I think we go 9 points clear of them. If we lose to them, they're only 3 points off us, and they've got no European football to worry about. So, it is it works both ways. That's what she said. But it does work both ways, because although we're all going, we need to beat Everton, from Everton's point of view, they're like, if we can win, we're back in the race. I genuinely believe we can beat City at home, says Mohammed Ishmael. Look, the derby takes care of itself. I'm not even bothered about the derby. We've got Derby County before the derby, and Derby won well today away from home. I think they won like 3-0 at Sheffield Wednesday with Rooney and stuff. That's going to be a tough game because he's going to have to rotate the players. But I'm speaking like Ricky. Mata and Matic have got to play against Derby. Mata's 10 times the player Rooney. He always was. But let me get back to my point, Fleck. But what I was saying is that with this Everton game, the derby against Man City, you're right, Ishmael. We can win it. Of course we can. People say, "Oh, City are better than us." They are, but a derby's a great lever, and it's Old Trafford. We can definitely beat Man City, but we've got to beat Everton first. Did you rate Chicharito? I thought he could have done quite well for us, but didn't get enough chances. Great to see Chelsea drop points. I think Chicharito was a good player for what he did at United. I understand why he went. Reckon Wencher says, I will cry if we lose, Mark. Please don't say we're going to win if we get the early goal. I think you're right, Reckon Wenchers. I think if Manchester United can get the early goal tomorrow, we'll go and win the game. I think I've always said this United team, when it goes in front, it normally wins. If we go behind, we do tend to struggle. So, and I think we will play a back. I mean, we've not even spoken about it. I think we'll play a back five tomorrow. And what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the back five now? Because I do notice that a lot of you are quite relaxed about the back five now, which is fine. For me, I don't like it. I don't like the back five. I think it's too defensive for Manchester United. But I'll be stunned if we don't play it tomorrow. I really think that Shaw and Williams will start, which means back five. And I also think that because Martial might be carrying a knock, he's got to shorten his options up front and not have three and go with two. So I think we'll play a back five tomorrow, and I don't think the fluidity of the back of the five works as well as the four. And also, I don't think it's good for any football team to be changing their formation a lot. And people say, well, they're professional footballers. Of course they are, but if you're playing a back five one week, then you're playing a back four the other. I mean, we're not. If we're anything this season, we're inconsistent, and we definitely don't have a style of play that we're happy with. So if you keep changing your formation, how are you ever going to get a rhythm? And also, I think it shows that Solskjaer is more occupied by the opposition than he is about what his vision is. If every game we're looking at them and going, yeah, we'll play a back five there. Oh, no, we'll play a back four now. It's like, the Liverpool changed their formation. The Man City changed their formation. Not many teams do change their formation. Like even Watford play the same formation most weeks. But we've got to pick one and go with it, and I don't think it should ever be the back five. Want United to be down 2-0 and come back and win 5-2, says Mohammed Ishmael. It would be a nice ending to a game. I don't fancy being 2-0 down, to be honest with you. Alan Dembrokab says he hates a back five. We're going to win 2-1, says Dave Brown. And Noel Cole says, Martial injury update. I'm watching from the States. There is no Martial injury update. I don't know whether this is good or bad. Dylan Woodley, my steak was fantastic. I had steak, chips, poached egg, baked beans, garlic mushrooms, and a side salad of Caesar salad. It was delicious. Absolutely delicious. But on Anthony Martial, we don't know. And I hope we don't know, because Manchester United are keeping it quiet so that Everton are unsure themselves. They might be keeping it quiet because they already know Martial's out, or maybe we're not going to know till tomorrow. So maybe he's had the scan and they've said there's not much damage there. We'll just have to see how he is on Sunday morning. But I'll put a question to you lot. If Martial is 50-50 tomorrow, do you play him? Because if you play him like we did with Pogba, and then he's out for a month, is it better that we just don't play him tomorrow and make sure he's definitely back for the derby and all the games that we've got after that? Because we have got the Manchester derby, we've got Spurs away, Sheffield United. Do you want Martial for Everton, or do you want him for those other games? And it's difficult, because in my mind, I'm like, if we lose to Everton, we're not getting top four anyway. So I don't know. And also, if we play him tomorrow and we win, but he's out for a couple of weeks, we've got Pogba coming back. So it's like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Jordan Such, let's not forget we absolutely bottled a race for top 4 last season. Spurs were in 4th, losing all their games, and we were not good enough to take the chances given to us. If we bottle it again this season, I give up on United. That's a good point, Jordan. I mean, last season, James says don't risk it. And a lot of people are saying don't risk it, which is, fair play, common sense. We've spoken about Pogba, but no, Jordan's right. I mean, I sort of remember, I do remember the first 3 months under Ollie. Obviously, it was great. And then when he first came in, I remember saying the words, it'll be a miracle if he gets top 4. And he got us right back into top 4. And then we just crumbled, didn't we? It was around this time. We were in a race for top 4. He had a great 3 months. And then we crumbled. And we didn't get top 4. So that would be consistent if we did it again. Hopefully, like Ollie says, we're going to learn from those mistakes, because Everton was one of the games that we crumbled in. We still could get top 4 in April when we played Everton last year, and we got stuffed 4-0, and that was the end of that. So, it is there's 4 players that are new. They're not part of what happened last year, and hopefully some of the other players are stronger for it. So there's no reason why we should crumble again. We shouldn't crumble again. I hope we don't crumble again. We crumbled because of Herrera, says O-Spot. Yeah, we crumbled because Herrera wasn't fit. And we also got a load of injuries as well, which is, again, talking about Martial, it probably isn't worth it. A lot of people talking about Watford. Look, well done, Watford. I'll watch it on Match of the Day, but we're Manchester United. Let's not be Arsenal. I keep telling you this. Don't be like Arsenal, celebrating a bloody Invincibles Cup you won 16 years ago when you got knocked out by Olympiacos 48 hours ago. Stop living in the past. We're Manchester United. Liverpool are going to win the league. That's bloody annoying. It's unacceptable. So I'm not going to celebrate, Watford beat Liverpool. We've never been invincible. So Liverpool not being invincible, to me, I don't give a shit. I really don't care. If they had been invincible, so what? Doesn't make it any less hard that they're title winners. I don't want them to win the treble. That's the only thing I don't want them to win. I don't care if they win the Invincibles, because they're going to win the title. So look, I'm glad Liverpool lost. I'm always glad when Liverpool lose, but I'm not going to sit here going, up Watford, this, that and the other, like it's some sort of moral victory. The real result today is Chelsea. I'm worried. I love my past of Manchester United and I love it. It's great. But I want the future. And the future is getting in the Champions League, getting a couple of better players in and building from here. And that's why the Chelsea result is more important. I would rather Liverpool had won and Chelsea lost, because we ain't catching Liverpool. So, a lot of people would disagree with me. Some of you will agree with me. I would swap Liverpool beating Watford for Chelsea losing to Bournemouth today, because that 1 point could be perfect. Liverpool are hopefully going to be our problem. They're always going to be our problem because they're our biggest rival, but we're nowhere near them at the moment. We've got to get that space off Chelsea. That's what we've got to do. And you know what? The weekend so far is looking good. It is looking good. My prediction was that United would win. I think the safe money is on a draw. I can't see us losing, but I can see us losing because it's a hard game. All I'm going to say is a very hard game to predict. It's only a hunch. I just think we will get something tomorrow. But I don't think a draw is good enough. And we could have the most entertaining draw. It could be 4-4. And we could say, what a game. But ultimately, I'd rather win 1-0 with a dodgy VAR decision, because 3 points to... You can't let Chelsea off the hook again. If we don't win, I think Spurs and Wolves are going to draw. So Chelsea will draw and actually no one will make any ground on them if we don't win. We've got to do it. We have got to do it. Will Milinkovic-Savic be a good replacement to Pogba? He's box to box and can play CDM. This is Anabov Paraj. We won't go for Milinkovic-Savic. That was a Mourinho target. We won't be going for him. Finn Barrard, do you think Ollie still leaves Sir Alex Ferguson's parking space vacant at Carrington, or you think he's finally broken out of that he's not the boss mentality? I don't know, mate. I would hope so. Welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Jay, thanks for joining. And Ty Dixon, welcome as well. Remember, if you're a member, you get your little badge next to your name. But also, go and check out the community tab on the homepage of our YouTube page, because there are exclusive posts that go out for the members in relation to the podcast. Sam Davies, what do you think? Maguire is poor at times and United captain. Forget about his defending capabilities, which is average in my opinion. I like Harry Maguire. I like Harry Maguire. I do. I don't think he... You know, it's like when people go on about De Gea. They're not our problem at the moment. Our big problem was the number 10. We've now got Bruno in. I think our next problem is the right-hand side. We hopefully get Sancho in. And then I think we need another midfielder if Pogba goes. I don't think centre-back is a real issue for us at the moment until we solve other areas. I mean, if you've got a load of money, it might be, but not necessarily for me right now. If we're going to win tomorrow and you want a score prediction of me, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go 2-1, Manchester United. Yeah. Although it could be 3-1, because I think that there is... We are capable of scoring goals, and if we get ahead, then yeah. A lot of people are saying Angel Gomes has signed a new contract, but the only person it's coming from is a bloody Twitter account. So hopefully there's some truth in that. We'll wait and see. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video, and remember tomorrow live from 1 o'clock with the team news for what is an absolutely massive game. Have a nice evening everyone, and I'll speak to you all soon. And welcome to VJ Dharma, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club, if everyone's still here. And Jonathan Nesbitt. Thanks, pal. A lot of people saying a draw, 2-1 United, a lot of that as well. I'm still live. See you later.